Hey, what's up guys, ImpulseEvan here, and today I'm bringing the video. In this video I'm going to be reacting to the newest FNAF video. I am late on this. When did this come out? This came out February 24th. Jesus. That was, how long ago? Okay, so, 8 days ago. Okay. By the time I'm recording this is going out tomorrow, so it's 9 days ago. I'm 9 days late. I'm sorry, okay? I don't know why I just wasn't I just didn't record it for whatever reason. I don't know why. But I'm recording it now. I also really appreciate, as always, the starter image of John right here. Speaking of John, speaking of FNAF himself, on the last video he actually commented, replying to a couple of my points and stuff, and that was cool. That was cool. It's really cool that he actually watched my reaction to that one. I did not agree with his last theory, and this is I Solved FNAF's Biggest Mystery Part 2. So this is a continuation of the last theory. I don't know what he's going to say here, but I am interested to find out. So let's get into it. I know I'm late, but I'm here now. Better late than never. Let's watch this. Ah, crap. It's muted. My bad.
Last week, I posted a theory about one of the biggest mysteries in Five Nights at Freddy's, Midnight Motorist.
Okay.
And a lot of people liked the theory, but there was a fair amount of you that thought I may have lost my mind. I don't mind.
I didn't think you lost your mind. I just disagreed.
At all,
yeah,
as long as you're respectful about it. And
yeah.
I understand why
like
some
me.
people did. Saying that Funtime Freddy captured and killed the crying child sounds insane. But like I said in the last video, I'm not trying to say my theories are 100% correct. I just like finding new perspectives on the lore that might get us one step closer to actually solving it.
I think that's what he said in the comment
nice
too.
Little add-on to last week's, showing you some new things that I found and explaining some things. So, need more proof? One of the biggest counterpoints that people kept telling me was that the toes just don't match. A 5-second Google search will tell you that Funtime Freddy has 4 toes, not 3. And in my theory, I said that Funtime Freddy was using an illusion disc to make himself look like Fredbear.
I did say that in the video as well.
But can an illusion cause the footsteps of an animatronic to change? Let me explain my reasoning for why I said this. Afton is known for being the guy who dresses up in the bunny costume to kill people. And if Afton really does come home after killing Charlie and is shocked that his kid is gone, that means that he couldn't have been the one to make the footprints. Yeah. Which means the footprints either have to be from an illusion or an animatronic that can walk on its own, period. And in the world of FNAF, and especially an 8-bit minigame that's supposed to be telling a story, why can't it be either or? I've seen people say that these footprints could be Shadow Freddy or Bonnie, which I said illusions, that. Or the Ghost of Golden Freddy, which is also an illusion.
I mean, Shadow Freddy and Golden Freddy aren't really illusions. They are real animatronics. The way the illusion discs work is by making you see something because of your own mind. So technically it's not like they wouldn't impact the world that just based on what they look like to you, because they would look different to each person. They look the way that they do because of like what you would expect to see. That's kind of how illusions work. Golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy, or Shadow Bonnie or whatever, they're not illusions, they're like ghostly beings, meaning they're not illusions, so they wouldn't be just in, like, if they were standing there, then their footprints wouldn't be different just because of like their appearance or whatever. To you, they would be different. They would be how they were formed. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. No, but like what I mean is that they're not illusions. But what he's saying is that Shadow Freddy would be. Also, or that Funtime Freddy would be. But Shadow Freddy also, in the scoop, I said this to a couple people who disagreed with me. I actually replied to him saying it. That in the scoop, Stevie, a ghost kid, interacts with the real world. He moves like the head of the bear animatronic, meaning that spiritual entities, or maybe not spiritual, but like ghostly entities, they can still interact with the world even though they're not like literally there physically. So, yeah, the illusion thing, that still doesn't really make sense to me, but...
Good and valid theories,
All right.
because who else?
Sorry, I'm gonna rewind a little bit.
Say that these footprints could be Shadow Freddy
Yeah.
or Bonnie, which are illusions, or the ghost of
Not
Golden
really.
Freddy, which is also an illusion.
Not
Those
really.
are all good and valid theories, because who else would it be? Afton is busy doing his own thing, and Henry couldn't have done it because Henry's not a killer. So, like
Exactly
I said,
right.
it had to have been an illusion or an animatronic that can walk on its own. The 8-bit minigames in FNAF are meant to progress the story, just like this minigame in FNAF 3. I don't think these codes are actually carved into the walls of the FNAF location. And in Sister Location, Elizabeth doesn't canonically die outside. The minigame is just meant to be metaphorical and progress the story. That's why I think we see 3 toes next to the bush. If my theory is correct in any way, and I'm not saying it is, but speaking of that, I've seen a lot of people point out the sound that occurs when the crying child gets bit, and I thought the same thing too. For reference, this is the sound. I thought that was really interesting because Elizabeth sounds very real. And the scooper isn't afraid to sound graphic either. And while the Bite of 83 does sound very robotic, so does Afton's death in FNAF 3.
Yeah.
I also saw people saying that we saw blood in Afton's death scene, but we don't see blood during the Bite of 83 because he could be a robot. And I also want to dismiss that. Although we do see
I mean,
blood
the robots
in
still have
past
blood, though.
minigames, I think choosing to add blood would have just been a little too far, even for FNAF. So although those are good finds and you can use them as evidence for yourself, I will not be in this video. I explained in my last video how the story...
Also, I should say that this video is relatively short. It's only 7 minutes, and we're 3 minutes through right now. Just gonna say that.
Twisted ones closely resembles what we see in Midnight Motorist, and the twisted animatronics closely resemble what the Funtime animatronics are in-game. I connected the unmarked pile of dirt in the clearing to how the twisted animatronics bury themselves during the day to come out at night to capture Charlie. I also told you that the Ultimate Guide was thinking the same thing as me, since it features the theory in the Midnight Motorist section. Well, let me point you towards the page where it talks about Count the Ways from the first Fazbear Frights book. Count the Ways is about a girl named Millie who willingly goes into Funtime Freddy's chest cavity to hide from her family. And in the Ultimate Guide, they add that Funtime Freddy and Count the Ways and the Twisted animatronics are connected. They do this by pointing out the illustrations in the Twisted One's graphic novel, which, if you look closely, features these weird buttons surrounding the eyes of the animatronic. These buttons can also be seen on the animatronic we're trapped inside in Sister Location, which backs up my theory that this suit is a Funtime suit that has spring locks, meaning that the Funtimes, or at least a version
and
of
the
them,
Twisted ones
could
are
have been
spring locks
around
as well,
before
yeah.
the spring lock suits got decommissioned, which helps to explain why they're around so early in the timeline. At the end of FNAF 4, William tells the crying child, "I will put you back together."
I don't
This
think that
isn't
was
the only
William,
time
but
we've
okay.
heard this phrase in this franchise. In the cutscene you get after Sister Location's custom night, you can see Michael talking to his father, William, saying that he put her back together, referring to his sister, Elizabeth Afton.
Father, it's me, Michael. I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to.
So when William asked Michael to put her back together, what did he mean by that? Well, as we see in Sister Location, Elizabeth is already in a robot. She possesses Baby. All Michael does is help her escape so she can roam free in the real world through Ennard.
I never
As we
understood what
saw
that meant
in the
either.
source code of ScottGames.com and FNAFWorld.com, Baby got voted out of Ennard. And Baby actually says something.
I can put
after she
myself
gets
back
kicked
together,
out of
something like
Ennard.
that.
I will put myself back together. This establishes to me that putting someone back together means taking a broken or trapped robot and literally putting it back together so it can now be free. So when do we see Baby/Elizabeth again? In FNAF 6, featuring a new look because she literally put herself back together. But who else do we see in FNAF 6? We've got Scrap Trap, aka William Afton,
Molten
we
Freddy.
got Lefty, aka Charlie, but then we have Molten Freddy, aka Funtime Freddy. Now we know that Molten Freddy is also Funtime Foxy and Ballora, but why would Scott choose Freddy to be the lead? If this
Well, 'cause it's Freddy.
the same Funtime Freddy that I think killed the crying child,
I love that
would
image
make
of
sense.
Funtime Freddy that
The
he's
whole
using.
Afton family would be back together again. William, maybe Afton's wife if she possesses Ballora.
I don't think she
Elizabeth,
possesses
crying
her, but I
child,
do
and
think she
Michael
represents
would
her.
play as. One big happy family. Wait.
One big happy family together again.
I'm not trying to say I'm right, but those would be some weirdly specific lines coming from a character who has no connection whatsoever to the Afton family. I don't know, it's just something to chew on. A lot of people said that the character in
My idea is that, so there's Molten MCI, which suggests that the missing kids are in the fun times, like the endoskeletons were melted together and infused into the fun times, which we see in the fourth closet, and is basically confirmed with FNAF 6 as well. But my idea is basically that Afton possibly would have survived the Springlock failure when he became Springtrap. Like, he survived, but the only way that he could have survived is through, like, let's say human means. Like, in the Man in Room 1280, or 1280, I always say 1280, I really don't know why, but I just do. But in the Man in Room 1280, we have Andrew who keeps William alive, meaning that spirits are able to literally keep spirits alive, just to torture them. So it's possible that Cassidy, or maybe even Andrew in the games as well, depending on what you believe, kept William alive through the Springlock failure so that he can never have, like, the pleasure of dying, so that the pain would never stop. It would be, like, really good torture, right? I'm not a psychopath, I swear. So in that case, it's possible that maybe Cassidy could... I'll just say Cassidy, because that's who I believe, but it could be Andrew, if depending on what you believe. But Cassidy could have kept William alive, and then, if that's the case, then Cassidy's in William, and therefore not in the fun time, so it's possible that the bite victim, assuming that both Cassidy and the bite victim are in Golden Freddy, which is not, like, confirmed or anything, but if that is to be the case, then maybe the bite victim would be in the fun times instead of Cassidy. And that could explain the one big happy family thing, because the bite victim is obviously part of the family.
Lupedia that I cited in my last video also disproves my theory because Gregory is listed as human. And honestly, you're right. The only rebuttal I have is that if Gregory is actually the rebuilt version of the crying child, I don't think Scott would want to reveal that in a character.
Exactly. I don't really think
that.
Obviously, there's also the thing where it calls Charlie a human and also lists her appearances in the books, meaning it's a general statement about Charlie in general, meaning it's calling Charlie from the books a human as well, which is not true.
Opens up a whole new can of worms.
So I think it's just, like, trying to prevent spoilers, right? It's not like it doesn't want to reveal lore just in a book when that lore hasn't been confirmed yet.
This book was made now, but I won't get into that. But the sister location room being in Security Breach would fit in so well. The Immortal and the Restless TV mixed with the secret poem on the wall talking about breaking and mending and building the breath, and then referencing everything Gregory does in the game. I don't know. In a Steam post after FNAF 4 was released, Scott revealed that what's in the box is the pieces put together. He later said in the interview with Dawko that what's in the box has changed over the years. I believe that originally the box was a metaphor for all of the answers being revealed. There's nothing actually in the box, it's just all the answers. But as Scott said, would the community accept it that way? Maybe what's in the box after FNAF 4 changed to quite literally all of the pieces being put back together. Anyways, be nice to me and everyone else who has theories.
Of course.
Theories. I don't care what anyone says. And I promise I'm done talking about this theory now. At least on my channel.
What? Okay. Anyway, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But, what I will say is, the box is the pieces of Happiest Day. And I think that's clear that that's what it is, at least right now, because of the fact that, well, it's the pieces put together, and in FNAF World, Happiest Day literally has to be put together, and then that's what happens. And also in FNAF World, a game all about setting up Happiest Day, we have an open texture of the box, meaning that the box is literally Happiest Day. So that's what I think the box is right now. So yeah, there's that. Overall, I think completely fine that he's, like, you know, defending his theory. I disagree still, but I do understand, like, I do understand where the theory comes from. I just think that there's better options for Midnight Motorist, that, like, it's Shadow Freddy and stuff. And there's also the private party thing with the fun times, meaning that the birthday boy line doesn't really have to mean anything, except that he's rented out for private parties. And there's the stomach hatch thing, how that's a blueprint, and that's not, like, an actual scan of Freddy. It's just blueprints of what he will be created as. So, I feel like this theory, I understand where he's coming from, but it's completely, like, there's other explanations for what he says that work just as well, if not better. But, once again, I do enjoy this. I do enjoy FNAF's theories. I think, like I said in the last video, I really appreciate that he looks a lot closer into the details. And I do really like the idea, or, well, not really, but I like, I just like that he's looking deep into it and he's coming up with new ideas for Midnight Motorist, even if they're not the correct ones. They're cool, like, not really, like, as a story. I wouldn't say that it's that cool in terms of story, but I do think that it's cool that he can come up with these new ideas and stuff. But with that being said, I enjoyed the video. I always enjoy his videos. I always enjoy MatPat's videos, even if I disagree with the theory. The videos are great, and the people making them are also great. But it's FNAF. Not everyone's gonna agree with everything that other people say, and that's completely fine. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to. Let me know if you, brain fart. Sorry. Let me know what you think about the theory. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. If you do, like he said, be respectful about it, of course, because he is doing well in terms of ideas. Like he says, he doesn't really, he doesn't believe all of his theories have to be correct. He just wants to get ideas out there, and that's a good mindset for theories. For me, I just like making theories about whatever I think merits one, but I don't know, not everybody has to agree on everything, but I do hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys!